What's up, YouTube? I've been building this bike for about 2 years. Started with a RC Outrunner motor in the case of the stock bike's transmission, and could never really get that working right with the ASI BAC8000 controller. So I decided to switch the motor to a QS138 90H. It's also inside the case. Later in the video I'm going to show you how I got all that to fit with some pictures and some stuff I took along the way. But just spent all weekend getting this thing buttoned up, and like I said, for the last 2 years it's sat in my garage. So it's running the ERT BAC8000, which I have a love-hate with, but it's working now, so I guess I'm loving it now. Actually, I'm finding the controller quite fun to program now that I've made some headway with it and started to understand it a little better. It runs 2 Kia Soul EV modules, which are 10S each, so it's a 20S pack. So 2 of those modules in series. I haven't wired in the BMS yet, so this charge cable will go, but right now it's just kind of hanging on there so I can charge it a little bit. Might be wondering what this gauge is for. This is actually the oil pressure gauge, because there was a lot of modification to the oil system on this, because the whole top of the engine isn't there anymore. So I wanted to make sure I was getting proper oil pressure. It's also the cooling system for the clutch. The electric motor, the QS138, is oil cooled, and it flows through the shafts of the transmission as well. So got to make sure that oil is flowing. So you can see a little bit about how it works here. I replumbed the stock oil system, so these oil lines go back to a oil cooler that's up in the back of the bike. Probably add a fan to it. It's picking up a lot of heat, so put a fan on that later. And anyway, so the oil circulates back through the oil cooler, back to the front, into this manifold block where it's distributed out to things like the pressure gauge, to the transmission, and then in the future a couple more oil sprayers that I'm going to install around the motor. There's also a large bypass valve in between the 2 batteries that you can't see with the bike assembled, so I'll show you a slide of that later on. And just got all the lighting rigged up today, so it's got turn signals, headlight, tail light, so that's exciting. Makes it more enjoyable on the street for sure. It's got a brake light too. Yeah, that's about it. I'm going to show some clips of it ripping, and probably put some pictures in of some of the parts that I made, and feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. Thank you.